Welcome back, gamers. I am Danny
Evelyn?
at the NintendoCade channel. Today we have a really cool review of Mario Sports Superstars for the Nintendo 3DS line of family systems. Really cool product provided by Nintendo for this review. So we're going to dive right in to see what this game is all about. And we're going to go into it right away.
So yeah, this game is like it's like one game but with 5 other games inside.
Yeah.
Like it includes like 5 of the most
Popular
popular
sports. Yeah. That includes soccer, baseball, tennis, golf, and of
for
course,
the first time, the horse racing.
yeah, that is the first time ever. So never been done in any game
It's
that
really
I've.
cool how they implemented that game into in one of the sport.
Yes.
Nobody thought it was like horse racing would be that one of them.
So each sport does feature its own challenge and depth, and they do have various options to pick. As obviously, first is the single player mode. You play by yourself, and you become a champion by riding through the tournaments in each sport.
Right.
Another option
is
is
multiplayer.
Yes.
Which you could compete locally or online.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 to 6 player.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like you could gather together and play 6 people together in like sports.
So you don't play alone. That's
Right.
what's the sports is all about. Playing with multiple people. That's where the fun comes around. There's also a training mode
Which
that
is one of the important like mode that you need to improve your skills.
you have to understand the basics of each sport. You hone your skills and you practice to improve in each sport, and that's where you beat your friends and opponents as you play locally or online.
Right. Actually, this mode was very important for me because when I started playing the game, I was like, Danny, I can't play the game because I'm not getting all the I guess the skills of it. And then he said, just try the training mode. It does help you, and it really does. After that, I'm becoming better, and you do become like a pro playing every single sport.
Absolutely.
Right.
So picking characters is one of the fun things about of any Mario Sports game. It does have 18 characters to pick from in the Mushroom Kingdom.
That's a lot.
Yes, it does.
All right. And you need to be careful on picking each character. Each character has their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
I believe you like which character you like.
My favorite character is actually Yoshi. I love that.
Balance, I realize.
Yes. Each character has its own attributes, and when it comes to that, like if you're a certain type of player, for me, I like a balanced player. It likes to be power, also technique, speed, everything all in one character.
I was trying like different one, and it makes it different because like you say, it's like power, speed. It does makes it different. So it helps you when you choose them in a team. Like when you making an ultimate squad, like you gotta pay attention to those attributes. Right?
So you pick one that may be power, one may be good in technique, one may be balance. When you put it all together in your squad, that one makes a winning team.
Right.
So this game has a really cool feature. It does have amiibo card functionality. You can actually power up your characters, add new range of abilities, items that are in the game that helps you play through the game.
Right.
And it gives you a little freebie as you go along with it. They do include 5 amiibo cards sold separately.
Yeah, sold separately.
Yeah, but they do include 1 card in the game itself. So that's a little freebie tidbit that you need to know when you buy the game. Like I said, it does have 90 cards to collect.
Right. So it will be 5 per each character, like 5 for like each sport per character. So 5 times 18 is 90 cards to collect.
90 cards to collect.
Right. But you don't have to have the amiibo cards to play the game. You can actually play without the card.
Right.
It's just it helps you have like they boost up stuff, power.
It's a little extra.
Right. They give you some freebie stuff like a baseball hat or things like that. But it's pretty cool to just tap it in there and then help you playing the game.
Yes, absolutely. So the first sport that we're gonna be talking about is soccer. Now, soccer you can play through your opponents, single player in tournaments, and it's really fun. Soccer is actually one of our favorite sports.
Yeah, at the beginning I didn't like it. I was like, I'm having a hard time. Then you said, but no, it's pretty fun. And now I like it. It's pretty fun though. So you do go head to head with your opponent. Right. Like you could actually play multiplayer, or what Danny said, in tournaments, a single player mode too. You make sure you assemble your right team.
Yes.
You could pick every single
because this is a team-based sport, so you gotta pick your teammates accordingly to their abilities to make it a winning team.
Like in the real world.
In the real world,
you could still you have to pick your right team to play to win.
Absolutely. One thing is to mention when you're playing soccer, you keep the ball, when you're dribbling the ball consistently, you actually charge up a gauge,
Right.
and that's where you can release, when you fill up that gauge, you can release a special shot. It's a very strong shot, and you can kind of outmaneuver your opponents that way and get to the goal.
Right.
So just keep in mind, keep the ball moving, and you get a reward at the end.
So it's like you gotta think about some skills and strategy when you're playing games like that with like especially with teams, right?
Yeah.
With all the players.
Absolutely.
Right.
So one thing you gotta do is there's different passing options. So you gotta move different ranges, different ways of passing the opponent. So you kind of know as you play, you kind of know how to pass it to your opponent. That's very important. You can't just dribble the ball all the way to the end.
Right.
So that's something that Evelyn realized when she was playing the game. So you can't just go all the way to the end and shoot your ball, kick your ball, I should say.
It's a teamwork.
It's
a teamwork.
Another sport that we want to mention is baseball. It is split into 9 innings. Now, obviously, everyone, if you're not familiar with sport, I'll just give a summarization. Each sport, whoever had the most points at the last inning wins the game. Plain and simple as that. It's like in any real sport, there's a lot of strategy to consider. Depending on the character, you have access to different sorts of pitch techniques.
Right. It's also with power, speed, and balance. All same thing.
It
applies to every single sport game.
Right. Every single sport that we mentioned, those character attributes is very important. Going back to baseball itself, they have different pitching techniques that you want to consider. That's obviously screwball, forkball,
sliders,
and many more.
Fastball, many more. But then you have to try to trick your opponent, maybe when throwing the ball, and then you're thinking like, oh, you don't want them to hit the ball. Right.
You want to keep the batter guessing what your kind of pitch is all about, because if you can kind of trick them, that's how you win
the game.
The game. Yeah. A tip that is there's a SP gauge that you fill up once you get that filled up, you kind of unleash that strong.
It's like a
pitch.
Strong power.
Right. The ball will glow, and when you pitch it, or if you're a batter, and your SP gauge is full, once you hit the ball, it'll fly and you get a home run.
Right.
It makes it easier that way. So get that SP gauge up there, and you get rewarded as you go.
The next one is tennis.
Yeah, one of our favorites as well.
Yes.
It's all about timing and positioning
and choosing the right shot for the job.
Yes.
Like there's certain things that you need to press button so that the ball could go to your opponent, and then there's a stronger shot, and then your opponent will pretty much lose if they don't catch the ball.
Yeah. You actually want to keep the rally going, and with that, you get a chance to do an ultra smash. So you imagine what the name Ultra Smash is all about. You get a little indicator on your side of the court, and you press the right button coordination. You get the Ultra Smash, and that will overwhelm your opponent, and you get the score from that. Yeah. So the thing is, I want to mention this game is very easy for beginners as well. It does have an option to you can use the buttons on the bottom screen,
or you could tap it. They actually tap the color. If you have a hard time, you could just tap the colors, and that's actually will help you hit the ball instead of you pressing the button. But then later on, when you practice, you could actually get the hang of it. And you could actually. I had a hard time, but then I think later on I kind of got the hang of it.
Yeah. So the point is, the touchscreen is an easy way for beginners to just play the game by tapping the button on the screen, which are forward volley, back volley, and makes it simple.
And
you don't have to
get the Ultra Smash
easily. Another sport is golf. Now golf, you gotta choose the right club. You actually have the option to pick the club.
I know, that was so cool. It's like then you didn't know, and he's like, oh wow, it's so cool. You could. It makes it different too, when you play the game. And you have to also consider the distance, the wind, like the weather condition,
and the terrain that you be playing. So like in real golf, you gotta consider those 3 elements. It affects your play, how the ball moves, how far the ball moves, and that's all taken into account. And advanced players for this game, you can actually use a manual shot mode, and that will give you extra precision, and allows you to strike the ball more accurate, and it gives you a curve and spin to your drives. So that's something to consider, very important. Another thing is the touchscreen can give you control of the camera angle. So like if you're playing a 3D game, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You gotta control your camera angle to get the right hit angle.
Right, you can customize any experience in there.
Yeah. So you gotta play up to 9 holes with different environmental settings, and again, like we said earlier, different
Rain,
elements.
winds, you name it. It's like it's like in the environment. It's like in real world too. You have to consider those items in there.
The last sport that we want to speak about is horse racing.
Which is the first time they
ever
implement something like that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. It was very unique. We wanted to, when we first heard about it, we want to dive right in. And obviously, in this sport, you go neck to neck with us racers, and you dodge obstacles, leap over hazards, and dash to the finish line.
And it's up to 6 players could race together, local or online.
Online, yeah. So again, play with your friends. It's a lot of fun. You choose your own jockey and also the horse.
Yeah.
So there's a little customization there.
And also, based on you choosing that, is because which one is better, speed or stuff. They have stamina. Yeah, it's like a lot of things to choose. Oh, it's pretty crazy though, but it's very fun to just picking on them. Yeah. I named my Poochie.
She named her horse as Poochie. So
right.
she did play a lot of Poochie in Yoshi's Woolly World, and obviously Yoshi riding Poochie, so she had to name her horse Poochie. There are 12 courses with distinct areas to with different look and feel. Right. So 12 courses to choose from. So there's a variety of to get there.
And the tracks are filled of useful pickup. Like you see carrots, it helps you with stamina. Yeah. Or if you see star, it gives you like a speed boost. Yeah.
So you kind of want to, as you run through the course, you want to collect those items, and you time what you want to use those to get to the finish line.
Sometimes you have to jump higher to get those items because it's all over the place, so you have to get them, and sometimes you have to jump.
Yeah, and you obviously have an ability to do a double jump.
Right. You don't have to use the like the speed power right away. You could just keep it, and at the end you could just be the first place.
You can actually get the big speed boost when you collect them out. A lot of 3 stars or something like that, and that's what give you the big dash to the finish line. So that's very important to use at the right time when you play the game to get to the end.
Right.
And obviously, when you're playing the horse game, you gotta stick together. Naturally,
I didn't know this.
Yeah, this is a little tidbit. I didn't realize it.
Oh, I learned something new. Yeah, you're supposed to stay together. That's what you say.
Naturally, horses like to stay in packs, and if they're together, they kind of get confident and they move together in a quicker way. Right. But if you dash forward and you're by yourself, your horse will slow down as you go, and it's called a herd effect. But don't worry about the lingo. It means the horse likes to stay together. But when you time it right and toward the ending, you give that speed dash, you win the tournament. You win. That's right. So this part, I'll give it to you. She loves this part about the horse game.
Right. So sometimes you don't have to race, so you could have a little break with your horse. So it's like you head to the stable and pamper your horse with some well-deserved break. Yeah. Like you could feed your pet. Actually, feed the pet. You could brush your horse. Sometimes they're dirty. You have to clean them, to wash them. I was like, wow. That's so cool.
I see her kind of doing a little bit of that.
Yeah, actually, I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm brushing my horse.
Yeah. You gotta give them a little rest and recreation. Pamper them to kind of give them the right mood. It's like us. If you're tired from a day, you from a lot of activity, you want to get relaxed, and the next day you feel fresh and get right into the action. Best performance. And the horse is the same way.
It gets so it depends what you do. The horse will get a mood. And then after that, they'll give how to say, it's like how close you are with the horse, and then obviously they'll work better with you.
Yeah, it feels like a relationship going on there with the jockey and the horse itself.
Right, and they also have an open field that you could walk them around, and you could get items too. You could get like grass, lettuce, and collect some coins and stuff like that. Right.
So we wanted to conclude this review. It is a very easy compilation for on-the-go play.
Right, with 5 sports in one. Like being straightforward sport game will suit different tastes. Yeah. Right.
It is great for local and online multiplayer. Up to 6 people can play. And to end it off, it is an easy pick up and play game with simple mechanics, and this game is well suited for beginners. So we want to thank you, Nintendo, for providing Mario Sports Superstars for us to review. It's a great fun to do so. I am Danny. Evelyn. Be sure to leave down below in the comments what you think of the game. If you have picked it up, or if you tried it out. We're interested to hear what you have to say. We appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review. Subscribe to NintendoCade, that always helps us a lot. And we'll catch you again in the next episode. Bye guys!